Hey guys, welcome to the very first episode of Ramen Review, the show where we review random things while eating ramen. So yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint you, we're not actually reviewing ramen, but we will be reviewing a very fun thing today, and today is How to Speak K-Pop. It's a new Korean textbook, which is actually #1 on Amazon right now, #1 trending, so we're gonna have fun with this. But on the table today, we are serving some ramen, shin black noodle soup. Yes, I'm going fancy today. This is the black packaging, not the red packaging. This is a premium soup. In case you're not a ramen enthusiast, the black label is the more expensive one. I'm going all out. We're breaking the budget for the first episode of a ramen review. A little fun fact about the shin black noodle soup. This was introduced to Korea in 1986, and now it's actually one of the most popular ramen brands in Korea right now, according to Wikipedia. But I did fact check it. I asked a few of my Korean friends and they said indeed they do see it in stores. So most of them said they actually didn't eat it though, but at least it's there. We know it's there. I got this at my local food store. I live in the Southwest, so I got this from my local Publix, but I'm sure you could probably find this at Walmart or whatever food store, or even I saw it on Amazon actually. You can get it through there. But yes, so we will be eating our ramen and reviewing this book. Let's go for it. So for this book review, I'm going to be judging it based on a few different categories. My initial impression, is it studyable, the format, and does this book achieve its goal? And then we're gonna review it in 2 different ways. From the K-popper, like I love Korean dramas, K-pop, stuff like that point of view, and the I'm a serious Korean studier view. So yes, we will be looking at this book both ways because I think that's the fairest way to review this book, considering it's how to speak K-pop for K-pop fans, it says. So the goal of this book, it says it right on the front cover, is mastering the most popular Korean words from K-pop and talking like a real fan. So that's why I decided to review it from 2 different perspectives, because I don't really think, like from my initial impression of this book, I don't think this book's goal is for the serious Korean learner, studier. I think it's more for like the Korean culture enthusiast, or maybe the person that just loves K-pop or watching Korean dramas. They're not necessarily trying to fluently speak Korean. So yeah, that's why I want to look at it from both angles. So initial impression, I think it's really cute. It's like nice pastels and has a really cute front image. And I like that it says the goal right up front. You know, it's very direct. It's not saying like I'm gonna completely teach you Korean fluently. It's kind of just saying like, you know, this is a fun vocab book, but we will get more into it. Looking at the back, it says, it just has some quotes from readers, people that have read this book and enjoyed it. Based on the initial reviews on this, I think it's very promising, but you can kind of tell a lot of people are saying it's more vocab orientated, not really teaching you full-on Korean. But I still think from my initial impression, this would be a good book. Let's take a look at format a bit. It starts off with a note from the author basically saying how to use this book. And there's even a poem in here. Let's find that. Alright, so the poem is, learning a foreign language without understanding the culture behind it is like trying to love someone without knowing that person. And that was from the author. I think that's actually really cute. I love that quote. I think it's actually really true too. You really have to actually, like if you're trying to speak Korean fluently, you have to understand the background, because knowing like the background, like the why of how the language is structured really helps you actually be able to format your own sentences. Like, it's easy to repeat phrases, but if you know why you're saying that phrase, like how that phrase is created, then you're able to make more phrases. That was a big ramble. I like his saying better. That's a way more poetic way of saying what I just said. Let's keep going. So there is a page on the, well, there's a few pages all about the alphabet, which that's great for first-time Korean learners. So that tells me that this is going to be accessible for people just starting off learning Korean. And then there's even a section on how to use this book. So basically it says okay, so it's going to present us with a bunch of different words, and there's going to be the title, the explanation, and then it's going to give you an example. And I think that's great. I've had dictionaries before that just, you know, just the literal translation, but that's really nice they threw an example, because now you're actually gonna understand how that word works in that context. And a lot of times words are conjugated, so if you see it in the sentence and, you know, with its topic marking particle or whatever, it's going to help you actually understand Korean a lot more, seeing it work. And then you can use that example and like flip words to better understand things. So I really like that they did an example, a translation, and the actual, you know, I don't know, I think it's really cool. Alright, so skipping over how to use that book, then the textbook actually starts. And I'm not really sure if I should be calling this a textbook. It is kind of more of it's a more informational vocab dictionary, it kind of sounds like so far, or from my initial impression. I kind of feel bad simplifying it as just a enhanced vocab dictionary, because I can see there's a lot of work put into this and a lot of explanation. But we will see. I mean, it's kind of like that gray area between textbook and vocab dictionary translation thing, if you guys know what I mean. Alright, I'm gonna spend a few minutes actually looking at this bad boy, and then we will go into some more thorough reviews, again from the K-pop stan perspective and then the serious Korean learner. Okay guys, we'll be right back. Alright, ramen intermission. Oh my god, it's so hot. Alright guys, so now we're getting to the serious part where we're actually reviewing the book, adding our critique. We're getting down to business, as they say. Okay, so looking at the book, first we're gonna review it from the K-pop stand view, because I want to start off with all the positives, and I think this book is more directed to that audience actually. So based on my initial impression, I was thinking this book is kind of like a English to Korean dictionary enhanced, adding more explanation, which I think it is. It's basically that. But that's not a bad thing. So talking about the K-pop stan perspective view of this book, I think this is great if you are just starting to get into the Korean language, you love K-pop, Korean music, and you want to understand the lyrics more, or you love Korean dramas and just want to kind of have a more enhanced experience, or maybe, I don't think you could turn off the subtitles, but if you weren't looking, you might understand something, or even understand a scene better. I'm not sure if you guys ever had this before, but sometimes like when you're watching a Korean drama, the translation doesn't really match what you think is actually happening. Because I don't think some words translate that accurately. So this book will kind of help dispel that problem. But you're definitely not gonna be able to speak fluent Korean after this. But I mean, I think it's very fun, and this could even be a great Christmas present to someone that you know is just interested into Korean. Like, they are a language they study Korean like as a hobby. They're a language hobbyist, I guess. But I mean, it's definitely more geared to beginners. Like, it does teach you the whole Korean alphabet, which is great. That's almost like 2 textbooks in one, because you can buy textbooks just on the Korean alphabet, but this will give you the Korean alphabet plus tons of vocabulary. But yeah, I got a kick out of reading this. There's a lot of things I didn't know from this book, and a lot of slang. This teaches you a lot of slang, and I thought it was so funny. I can't think of the word right now, but there was this one slang word. It meant like poopy hands, but basically it's a Korean slang word meaning you're just terrible at doing something. I was just like, oh, that's so funny. Like, it literally had the word poop in it. But so if you are a K-pop enthusiast, or you're just getting into Korean, I do think this is a good book for you. It's going to teach you some basics. It's going to teach you a lot of slang, which is in a lot of K-pop and Korean dramas. It would help you better understand situations, and I do think this would give you the foundation of how to write sentences, because after every single vocab word there is an example sentence, so you can kind of learn how a Korean sentence is structured compared to English. Especially, it's super helpful that it has arrows in the example sentence to show you how the English translates into Korean, so you can see how all the different words kind of get switched around. And as you read, I'm sure you could figure out the pattern, even though the textbook doesn't directly say the pattern. But yeah, I mean, all positives if you're a beginner. But now, looking at it from the serious learner perspective, say you want a textbook that will teach you how to speak Korean fluently, this is not the textbook for you. But it is the textbook for you if you want to be able to talk more naturally with your Korean friends, if you want to enhance your vocabulary, because these are vocab words you're not going to be learning in a textbook. Definitely not. There's a lot of slang, a lot of informal things, but the nice thing is this textbook does tell you when it's informal and when it can be formal. So if you're ever worried you're not using the word the right way, it does tell you in what formality you should be using it at. Again, if you're kind of like beginner or intermediate, the sentences will help you a lot with figuring out how to structure your own sentences, because it gives you tons of examples. And again, it shows you the arrows of how the translation kind of gets mixed around. If you're a serious learner, this is definitely going to add a lot of vocab to your personal self-learner dictionary. I mean, there's so much in here that can be used in so many different situations that you'll never learn from textbooks or like school classes. And it does give like explanations of everything, like how to make it formal, when is it exactly used, how you can change the endings, it occasionally says. But yeah, like, I wouldn't, if you're trying to actually learn Korean, I wouldn't use this as your main textbook to become fluent. I just don't think that's possible. I would use it more as a supplement material to enhance your vocabulary, or say you've been through a bunch of different textbooks, but you haven't really learned casual language yet. This is where you would go. You could also use this to better communicate with your Korean friends. There's even like texting slang in here, which I really enjoy, because that's not like something you would see in a textbook. But yeah, the only bad, I guess you would say, takeaway is you can't solely use this for Korean. But honestly, I feel like you could say that about any textbook. Even textbooks that are aimed to make you fluent in Korean, there's no way they're gonna have everything in it. And usually most textbooks are more formal anyway. They never touch on the casual side, but honestly, if you're gonna be in Korea making friends and talking to actual Koreans, they're not gonna speak like a textbook, they're gonna talk like this book. Alright guys, so down to the 3 big questions. Would I recommend this book? to who would I recommend this book, and what level do I recommend this book. Alright, so I would recommend this to someone who is a K-pop or Korean drama enthusiast, or a Korean beginner, or a person that is more advanced but just has never really dipped their toes in casual Korean. Like I said, there's texting slang, there's everyday slang, and a lot of like stuff you would hear in Korean songs that you wouldn't even hear in regular speaking. So that is who I would recommend it to. What level I recommend it to? Beginner, or an advanced person that just has never learned casual Korean. And just in general, would I recommend this? I guess that sounded so unenthusiastic. I would recommend this book. But again, there is that caveat, you can't completely learn Korean from it, but I can say that about any book. You're not going to be fluent from any one book, you're always going to be fluent with a combination of books. So I do think this would be good to add to your personal library, but I would definitely couple it with something more like on the formal side. That way you have a more rounded Korean word, personal self-dictionary. I don't know how to word it, but yeah, a more rounded Korean experience, maybe? That'd be better. But yeah, this is mainly like if you're talking to friends or you're listening to K-pop or Korean dramas. The only person or situation I probably would not recommend this to is if you're maybe like traveling, I would say. Because I feel like if you're traveling, you would need more vocab about like how to go on the subway station or directions or menu items. Your main goal isn't really how to make friends, which I think this book, if you're trying to make Korean friends or listen to Korean songs or dramas, this book is super helpful. But I mean, if you're just traveling to Korea, I think it'd be more important to focus on the how to get around Korea vocab, not really how to make friends. But yeah, I don't know. I know this review, I really tried, guys, to make this review structured and professional, but I'm a babbler, I'm sorry. But I hope you guys liked my perspective on this book, and let me know if you guys want to try this out, or let me know if you got this book. So this video is not sponsored, but the author did reach out and give me this book. That's why I decided to do this textbook review. Also, he gave me 20 copies of this textbook to give away. I have 10 paperback and 10 digital. So to enter that giveaway, please subscribe to my channel, follow my Instagram, and follow his Instagram, and you will be added to the giveaway. 10 of them are paperback and just for US residents, and 10 are digital for everywhere else in the world. So just, if you win, make sure you let me know which one you want, paperback or digital. I only have 20 to give away. Let me know, guys, if you ended up buying this book or if you want to enter in the giveaway. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today with the first ever episode of Ramen Review, the one and only show where we eat ramen while reviewing things but not actually review ramen. Alright guys, thank you guys so much. Hope you have an amazing day and happy holidays. Bye bye.